5 signs of high fertility in women. When it comes to attempting to conceive, there is a significant amount of misinformation circulating. Contrary to common belief, women can only conceive for a few days during their menstrual cycle, typically around the time of ovulation, which occurs approximately midway between periods. Since sperm can survive for up to 5 days in the female reproductive system, there is a narrow window each cycle, approximately once a month, when conception is possible. But how do you pinpoint this fertile window? The good news is that your body provides several clear signals indicating heightened fertility, and these signals are relatively easy to interpret. Especially if you're new to trying to get pregnant, it's not necessary to recognize all these signs at once, starting with 1 or 2 is perfectly fine. So, without further delay, here are our top 5 indicators of increased fertility in women. 1. Estrogen and luteinizing hormone rises. Okay, this might be a bit of a cheat, as hormonal changes are both a cause and a sign of high fertility. Without the rise in estrogen, none of the other signs on this list would occur, so it's crucial to highlight this one. Estrogen is a hormone released by your ovaries in response to signals from your brain indicating it's time to prepare for ovulation. As estrogen levels rise, follicles in the ovary grow, with one eventually becoming dominant. When this happens, the brain releases luteinizing hormone, LH, which triggers ovulation within the next 24 to 36 hours. If you're trying to identify your peak fertility period, tracking estrogen and LH is essential. But how can you tell when these hormones are rising? The next 4 items on this list are good indicators, but you can also track these hormones directly using easy, at-home urine tests. Prove complete tests for both E1G, an estrogen marker, and LH, detecting up to 6 fertile days. You can also use LH tests like Prove Predict to monitor LH levels alone. These tests are an excellent way to predict ovulation and identify your peak fertility window. 2. Fertile cervical fluid. When estrogen starts to rise, it prompts the cervix to produce increasingly wet, slippery fluid. This cervical fluid, or mucus, becomes less thick and sticky, aiding in sperm transport by providing nutrients and ideal conditions for sperm survival. This change typically begins a few days before ovulation, and healthy fertile cervical fluid will progressively become more slippery, stretchy, and clear, resembling egg whites. Once you observe this type of cervical fluid, it's likely a good time to try conceiving. You can track your cervical fluid by wiping when you use the restroom and looking for the days when the fluid has an egg white quality. Additionally, you can use devices like KEG, which track electrolytes in your cervical fluid to detect your fertile window. 3. Ovulation pain. Ovulation pain doesn't always occur, but for some women, it can be a helpful indicator that ovulation is approaching. Studies show that about 40% of women experience some form of pain around ovulation, which often coincides with the LH peak, though not always. This pain, known as Mittelschmerz, can occur anywhere in the abdominal area and may range from dull cramps to sharp or sudden pain. It typically shouldn't last long or be so intense that it requires pain management. If you experience severe pain, contact your healthcare provider. Ovulation pain isn't a perfect predictor of ovulation timing, as it can occur up to 7 days before ovulation and isn't necessarily caused by the release of the egg itself. However, for those who experience it regularly, it can be a useful sign of peak fertility. 4. Increased sex drive. It's quite convenient, if you're trying to conceive, that another sign of high fertility is an increased libido. Studies indicate that women experience a boost in sex drive and an improved perception of their body image during ovulation. This happens because rising estrogen levels enhance sexual desire, so as estrogen peaks around ovulation, you might notice an increase in your libido and responsiveness to your partner. If you're trying to conceive, this heightened libido often aligns with the optimal time to try. Additionally, although testosterone levels are generally lower in females compared to males, they also peak around ovulation, further contributing to an increased sex drive. 5. Mood and energy changes. In addition to boosting libido, healthy levels of estrogen and testosterone are natural mood enhancers. Estrogen interacts with various neurotransmitters, promoting the release and reuptake of serotonin. Similarly, balanced testosterone levels are crucial for mood and energy. Imbalances in testosterone, whether too high or too low, have been linked to depression in women, whereas proper levels can increase energy around ovulation. Many women experience their highest energy levels and best moods when their fertility is at its peak and ovulation is near. One study found that women who are not on hormonal contraceptives and thus ovulate naturally experience positive mood changes around ovulation. If you align your exercise routine with your menstrual cycle, this is the ideal time for your most intense cardio or interval workouts because you'll have the most energy. Now you know 5 clear signs of high fertility that you can track and use to your advantage. Reasons why women need more sex than men. In our country, women are unfortunately often viewed as the repressed gender. This repression extends beyond the workplace and home, encompassing attitudes towards sex as well. Many women still feel uncomfortable discussing sex openly and are often labeled as bad if they express their sexual desires. However, studies show that women may actually need more sex than men, contrary to common belief. Sex drive in women. A woman's sex drive fluctuates due to various factors. Hormonal changes, pregnancy, and chronic illnesses can all impact a woman's libido and her response to sexual desires. Additionally, social and cultural factors play a significant role in shaping female sexual attitudes, practices, and desires, with studies showing that women's sexuality is more influenced by their environment compared to men. Given these influences, there are many reasons why a woman might need more sex than a man. Sexual attraction. Yes, men might be more visually attracted to women's bodies than vice versa, but women have other significant reasons that drive their desire to have more sex than men. Women are capable of multiple orgasms. Yes, unlike men, women are capable of having multiple orgasms. While it may be challenging for men to achieve this in the same session, women tend to be more sexually responsive to their partners. Women are more open to options. Unlike men, women are more open to various options. According to a study, men who were shown male-male, male-female, and female-female sex were more aroused by the latter two, but not much by the former. In contrast, women were aroused by all the scenarios. This suggests that women have a greater capacity for arousal regardless of the specific dynamics involved, rather than being selective about who they find arousing. Touching, talking, and then sex. Women typically prioritize forming a connection before engaging in sex, rather than the reverse. In contrast, men often develop a connection with their partner after engaging in sexual activity. Women tend to approach intimacy cautiously, often starting with touching and talking before progressing to sex. Once women reach this final stage of intimacy, they are more likely to experience arousal more frequently. Middle age issues. Middle-aged women are often more inclined to have a variety of sexual desires to satisfy compared to women in their 20s. According to scientific findings, this trend can be attributed to women approaching menopause and concerns about potential declines in sexual desire as they age. Higher sex desire. After carefully choosing their partner, women's concept of connection extends beyond just sexual intimacy. Once they engage in a sexual relationship with their chosen partner, women are more inclined to fulfill all their sexual desires within that relationship. If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell, so you don't miss any new videos. Let us know your thoughts about this video in the comments section down below, and feel free to stay and enjoy it until the end. Also make sure to check out our next highlighted video, and we will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.